Yo, guys, do not forget to hit that subscribe button if you're new to this channel, man. And if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, man. I do appreciate whenever I get likes, guys. Bro. I don't want to sound like a hater, man, because I know I be sounding like a hater sometimes on these videos. But, man, you know, Deontay Wilder really is overrated, man. I find it, like, a miracle that he still hasn't lost. Because you know what I was doing? I was actually binging on some old Wilder fights. You know, I was going back looking at Deontay Wilder past fights, you know, when he was coming up. And I'm watching him, and the dude is struggling. The dude is getting hit. The dude is getting hit flush against these low quality guys. The dude is getting rocked against guys that are part-time fighters. And I'm looking at that and I'm like, how is it that he didn't lose back then? Like, how is it that back when he was fighting these bums and he was getting wobbled against these bums, how was he able to stay undefeated? Like, that is just insane to me that Deontay Wilder managed to stay unbeaten for this long in his career. Like, with all those times that you've seen him, because Wilder has been rocked several times in his career against these low quality guys. All those times that you've seen him rocked is hard for me to, like, I can't comprehend how he's still unbeaten. Like, this guy got dropped by Harold Schooners. By the way, I'm still looking for that fight. Somebody, please, if you're watching this video and you got a link, show me the link of Deontay Wilder versus Harold Schooners. I want to see when Deontay Wilder gets dropped against that guy. I really want to see that fight. I don't know, you know, how they did it, but his team must have paid every single website on the internet to have that, to confiscate all that evidence, because you can't find Deontay Wilder getting his ass dropped against Harold Schooners. It's like, yo, Deontay Wilder and his team did not want that to be online. They don't want no one seeing that shit. So all you can find is a fucking picture. But even before that, right? No, but after that, after he got rocked and dropped against Harold Schooners, you see him get rocked against Nikolai Furfa. Nikolai Furfa, out of all the heavyweights, Nikolai Furfa throws a jab, right? He throws a jab and he rocks Deontay Wilder. Nikolai Furfa has at least 12 losses. That was the last fight in his career, Nikolai Furfa, when he fought Deontay Wilder. He was already at the end of his career when he fought Wilder. That was his last fight, and he rocked him with like a jab in the first opening seconds of that fight. Deontay Wilder gets rocked against Eric Molina. Eric Molina, the same Eric Molina that got absolutely wiped and destroyed against Anthony Joshua. Deontay Wilder got rocked badly, like it was a counter right hook on the inside, and you see Deontay Wilder was very hurt, visibly hurt. When Deontay Wilder fought Johan Duhaupas completely swelled up Deontay Wilder's right eye. Or was it his left eye? But he was banged up in that fight. Like, you look at that fight, it looked like Deontay Wilder was in a street fight. Like, his whole right side of his face was swollen up. And Johan Duhaupas, let me tell you something right now, will not be able to land a single punch on somebody like Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury would probably get hit twice during that whole fight. Johan Duhaupas is a very one-dimensional pressure fighter, right? You know what he's going to do when he fights you. But he managed to seriously swell up Deontay Wilder's right eye, right? Artur Szpilka was giving Deontay Wilder a boxing lesson. It wasn't even close. Like, prior to him getting knocked out, that was not even a close fight. It was hands down a one-sided victory, or it was going to be a one-sided victory for Artur Szpilka. I don't know what the judges had it at the time, if they had it a draw or if they had Deontay Wilder winning that fight. Those guys were paid to have Deontay Wilder win that fight, because anyone with eyes would have Artur Szpilka up in the scorecards. But Artur Szpilka was never a special fighter. No one was ever saying that Artur Szpilka was this elite type of boxer. You know, Artur Szpilka looked horrible when he fought Brian Jennings. Brian Jennings beat him up. I saw Arthur Spilka struggle against these heavyweights, top 50, like these journeyman type of heavyweights. I forgot the guy he fought, but it was this heavyweights. He fought this journeyman heavyweight twice, and he looked bad against that guy. Arthur Spilka goes on to fight guys like Adam Konecki, gets absolutely dominated and destroyed. And Arthur Spilka, but so against other fighters like Adam Konecki, Brian Jennings, and even that guy, that journeyman that he struggled against, he would struggle against these guys. Yet when he fought Deontay Wilder, he looked like he was an elite boxer. Like, he was just on his tippy toes. He was going in and out. He looked way better as a fighter compared to Deontay Wilder. Yet when he fought these other dudes, he looked average, and he looked poor because he was getting his ass whooped. Yet Deontay Wilder's so overrated that when he fights these fighters who aren't that good, like Arthur Spilka, they make Deontay Wilder look bad, and they make themselves look really good because of how poor of a boxer Deontay Wilder is. Okay, then he fights Gerard Washington. Gerard Washington, another guy, nothing special, no elite, but he's not an elite boxer at all. You saw what happened when he fought Jarrell Big Baby Miller. He lost every single round. He got pounded into submission. You saw the other last weekend when he got destroyed in 2 rounds against Adam Konecki, right? He struggled and got a gift decision win over what's his name? Mansour. Amir Mansour. Amir Mansour lost to he got a draw against Amir Mansour, but Amir Mansour realistically beat him, right? So all these other heavyweights like Amir Mansour, Jarrell Miller, Adam Konecki, all these guys easily beat Gerard Washington. Yet Deontay Wilder, the so-called pound for pound #1 heavyweight, struggled against this guy and was losing every single round. He wasn't winning every single round. He was losing every single round before he finally caught him with that right hand. Yet this guy's supposed to be the best heavyweight. This guy's supposed to be the #1 heavyweight. And then, of course, he finally steps up. So even before he stepped up, he was looking bad. He was looking overrated. He was losing rounds against these guys who are mediocre heavyweights, like Arthur Spilka, like Gerard Washington. These guys are mediocre heavyweights, and they were just schooling him. And then, of course, he steps up and he fights Luis Ortiz, and he looks poor against Luis Ortiz again. Right? He looks poor against him. He's losing every single round. He gets hurt. And of course, then he fights Tyson Fury, and once again he looks poor, and he receives a boxing lesson once again. So it's like, that's why I'm amazed that Deontay Wilder's still unbeaten. Because even before he was getting schooled by these elite heavyweights or so-called elite heavyweights, he was looking bad against mediocre heavyweights. It just goes to show you that his punching power is really his. The only reason that Deontay Wilder's still unbeaten is because he's a puncher. I told you guys this before, and I'll tell you guys this again. If Deontay Wilder was not a puncher, he would probably be a glorified journeyman, because he would have lost to Arthur Spilka, because Arthur Spilka was giving him a boxing lesson. He would have lost to Gerard Washington, okay? He would have lost to Luis Ortiz, and he would have lost to Tyson Fury, because he wouldn't have the punching power to drop those guys. So right now, he would probably be at 4 to 5 losses on his record. But like I'm saying, you take away Deontay Wilder's right hand or punching power, he's so overrated. He really is. All right, I'm not saying Deontay Wilder's the worst champion out there. I'm not saying he's the worst heavyweight champion out there. But what I am saying is he's like the most overrated heavyweight champion, because he's like the worst best heavyweight champion, right? Like, he's a heavyweight that he's so bad. He has no technique. He struggles against these mediocre guys. Yet somehow he's still perceived as the #1 heavyweight, or the #1 American heavyweight. And it's all really down to his punching power, right? His punching power is the difference, right? That's what, oh man, it's I've never seen anything like that. I've never seen like a fighter that doesn't have good technique and is really overrated and struggles against mediocre fighters, but is able to get away with things because he's punching power. Normally when you see the best guys in the division, they normally are very talented. They have really good technique.